sometimes these breaks can come at inopportune times. Do you feel like this break came at a good time for this group, both physically and mentally, to get a few days away?
Played a lot of hockey, a lot of travel. The break is the break. It's scheduled. Whether it was good, bad, I have no idea. But I think the guys had a time to mend, and now we go back to playing.
When you look at that last game before the break, obviously periods like that are going to happen, but it's the response you were looking for, and you got to imagine you were pleased with the response for the rest of that night.
Yeah, we kept on playing. I actually don't think we were that bad in the first period, other than that 4 or 5 minute part of it where everything caved in on us. I thought we got control of the game back when it was 2-0. But we just kept on playing, found a way to score some goals, and like to have won it. I think if we keep it, we had them when it was 6-5 before they scored their 6th goal. I think we have a chance to win the game there, but it will take the point and go.
Was that response player-driven? I mean, you never called a timeout. You didn't have to scream on the bench. I don't know what you said in the locker room, but it was mostly the players grabbing that.
Players took care of it. I thought Seals gave us a little bit of juice with his emotion. Momentum swings of the game. We got the momentum, and we kept on going.
John, Talk was saying a few minutes ago that the Flyers, when he watches them, it's the hard work that stands out, and that's really sort of become their identity. How has that process been just for you as a coach, kind of instilling that in them? Was that easier with this group, tougher with this group? I mean, you've obviously coached a lot of groups.
The thing I don't get is why it's not instilling it. If you don't play hard, you have no chance. See, I don't think it's a big deal. I think that's part of your job, is to play hard. I think the biggest plus for our team is how quick we're playing. That's a really important part of our game. But I know a lot of people talk about that, but if you can't control how hard you play, you have no chance. A lot of things you can't control in the game, but effort is one of them. And I think the push of the room, the tightness of the room helps that. But I don't think that should be a headline about the Philadelphia Flyers. I think that's your job, and then you build off of that with other stuff.
You've talked a lot about segmenting the season, and now this 4-game trip out west in Western Canada. How do you look at this? Is this critical juncture for your team?
I don't look at it that way at all. I look at the next game. A long travel day today. Had a good practice. I'm concerned about the quick turnaround. With usually have another day when you get out west here. We didn't. I don't want you to get into the segments and brackets now, because I brought that up. That was right before a break. There are certain times. I don't look at it, this is an important juncture. I look at it as the next game, and I want us to be the best we can be. That's all we can look at.
You are playing the top team in the NHL in the next game. I mean, you're
Doesn't
playing.
matter. Doesn't matter if we're playing the top team or the team that's last. It's always a tough game, and it's really not who we're playing. It's how we're going to play, and we need to get right back at it as far as. And we have a number of corrections we have to make, judging from the last couple, but still found a way to get some points.
Is today just the goal, get out there and get the legs moving again, and then
yeah, there was some purpose. Yeah, no, it's to get them. Every team goes through it. You know, every team had the break, so you have a practice. You get some body contact. You get as many puck touches as you can, and then you roll with it. You're not going to be perfect tomorrow night. You know, the part for me is just a time change for us getting out here. I guess everybody's told me this is what Philly does. After Christmas, you always go out west. That's the biggest thing for me, is hope they get adjusted to the time change. And but they practice well today, and we go play.
What has Gar Hathaway meant to the locker room?
Well, I think Garney just brings just that effort part of it to his game, and I think he's an easy guy to follow as far as the puck battles, the board work, the physical play, the willingness. Everything about him is, I think it kind of, you talk about the Flyer history, it's kind of that, bringing that type of style to to the league. I know the league's changed, but we, meaning us, the Flyers in that room, feel there's a part of the physical play that needs to be there for us. And he certainly is one of those guys that leads the way that way.
You didn't really know him before he came to Philadelphia. Are you surprised by what he brings?
No, I've watched him. I've watched him for years. I knew he was going to be a good penalty killer for us. I know when we were talking about I had a conversation before we signed him, and it was a very honest conversation. Like, what the hell are you waiting for? Get here. And I think what he's going to bring when we get into the second half of this year is I think I'll be able to move him up and down the lineup a little bit more in situations. But yeah, he's a pro, and I think he brings an element to the game that I think's needed in the game, and it's certainly needed by this team.
By moving him up, is that to create space for other guys?
Oh, I don't know what the situation is. Yeah, it depends on the situation, and I'm not saying I'm moving him up tomorrow, but I think he's a player that I can move him up and down that lineup. But I'm not sure when that situation arises. We'll talk about it then.
Did you think when you started this job you'd be on the cusp of 1,500 games? Coached 1,500.
When I started,
when you started this job,
I don't even think about that stuff. If you're throwing that at me, the only thing I'm thankful that people have entrusted me to let me work with athletes. That's the it's been my life, and I appreciate people having a little faith and allowing me to work with them. That's all. I don't give a shit about the number. I just like coaching. I like being around the players, and I really appreciate and humbled by the opportunities I've been given.